Hi, everybody. It's Karl Kjaersgaard on the Halifax 57 Rescue Show. And we're back again to give you exciting news with all the goings on of saving a Halifax and saving our RCAF history. And I have been working in Nanton, Alberta. Scott Knox here with me today. He's been working in Arnprior at the Halifax Rebuild Shop. And Scott, I've been doing some exciting engine shuffling and getting ready to bring back to life Hercules engine number 3 for the Halifax. I'll tell you all about that. I've got some great video. How's things going on your end, buddy?
Yeah, good. We're just carrying on more trailing edge ribs and putting the stringers in for the ribs. And we're making the flat parts. I think we showed the viewers the hammer forms and everything last video, and we're just carrying on building all these parts.
Great, great. Well, we'll go for some more details from you in a little bit, but folks, let's look at some of the exciting videos here. Now, you got to understand this. When we get Hercules number 3 engine running for our Halifax bomber here in Nanton, Alberta, when we get number 3 running, we will have joined very, very special Warbird Rebuild Company. We will be number 1 in the world for having the most Hercules running engines since the end of World War II. So I want you to look at taking engine number 2 off the engine run trailer, and we have number 3 engine in the sidelines, and we're making the engine swap starting just 24 hours ago. So we're going to show you all the weeks of work that it takes to put together a Hercules running engine. So here we go. Watch this. We're at the Bomber Command Museum. I wanted to show you our number 2 Hercules engine. She's running great. We ran it all last summer. And now it's time to swap engines and take number 2 engine off. This is a Hercules 230, and she's running great, but we have to get all 4 engines running for our Halifax bomber that we're putting together. So let me just walk you over here and show you, introduce you to the twin sister of number 2, and it's just over here. There's number 3. She's sleeping, waiting for her turn to become an all-star. And this is the twin sister of number 2. And yes, we can call it number 3. And do you see those tags? Those are original RAF engine inhibitor tags for routine inhibiting of the engine. And we got these 2 engines, number 2 and number 3, from John Robson near Leeds, United Kingdom. So what I'm going to do is introduce you today, and we will say hello to number 3, and we'll say, number 2, you can have a sleep now until we get the Halifax ready. So I'll show you videos tonight of all the lads working as we pull number 2 engine off the engine run stand and get ready to welcome number 3 for 2025. Hi folks, it's Karl again, and you missed all the excitement last night. You know, you're looking at an empty cupboard. Somebody took the engine out, and so here is the engine that came out of the trailer, off the trailer last night. Bristol Hercules running good, and so we're going to put that baby number 2 engine in hibernation. And let me show you over here. Here's the next one, number 3, and we've got to switch some components over and do some work on it. And it's a 0-time engine, but we've got to put it up on the trailer. So we're going to do that very soon, and I'll keep you apprised of all the adventures of getting ready to put number 3 engine on the trailer. So hang on to your hats. Here we go. Bristol, we've got number 3 engine, Hercules for the Halifax, ready to go on the trailer, and you'll see it later on this summer running as good as it can, I hope.
Well, that was great. So next week, we're going to be coming straight from the shop. We're going to be doing a complete update for covering all the work we've been doing in the last few weeks, and hope the viewers can tune in and get the update from the rebuild shop next week.
Great, Scott. Looking forward to that, because you and your wild bunch there are doing your best, and we sure appreciate all your efforts. And now I want to go back to a special moment in World War II that hopefully all our viewers can identify with, but certainly you and I, after studying so much of World War II and your dad being flying combat in bombers, there is a moment in time in 1943 when the British and the Allied nations were lifted up by a momentous bombing raid called the Dam Busters. And they went in and blew up the German dams that supplied power for making steel and armament. And Scott, what are your feelings on the Dam Buster raid and where it fits into World War II?
Well, it was a huge feat, a wild undertaking, a very inspired attack, you could say. They're attacking one of the most heavily defended areas of Germany in the Ruhr Valley. And, you know, there was so much high technology involved in that raid. But two of the things that always struck me were they used lamps to make sure that they were at the right altitude above the water. And to me, it's so simple. You're flying, you know, state-of-the-art technology for the day, but you're using 2 lamps. And then also to make sure that they were at the right distance from the dam, they used a little Y-shaped piece of wood with nails stuck in it that would line up with the towers on the dam to make sure that they were at the right distance. So because they had to be exact altitude and distance from the face of the dam. If they were off even just, you know, 15, 20, 30 meters, the bomb may not, you know, end up where it was supposed to be, which was at the face of the dam, right? So no, that's part of the story that always amazes me.
Well, okay, so you and I are the guys in the trenches, but one of the greatest storytellers in all of Canada for the British and the Allied side of these combat efforts is Ted Barris, a world-renowned author in the Toronto area. And he was with us at Bomber Command Museum. He's the author of the Dam Buster story with a Canadian perspective. And we've saved that clip and we want to show it to you now and to all of our audience. But Ted tells it like it is. So let's listen to Ted tell about the Dam Busters.
So we want to thank you today, Ted, for being here. We'd just like to ask you if you'd give us a little explanation on why you think the Dam Busters raid was so important.
I think the Dam Buster raid was important for a variety of reasons. Probably the most important of which is that the Allies had not had any substantial victories in the war from 1939 to 43. I mean, the British had nobly fought back in the Battle of Britain. There were attempts to hold Hong Kong and the South Pacific that failed. The North Atlantic was a battlefield for the naval forces of the Commonwealth, and they were holding their own against the U-boats. But that was it. And then Dunkirk and Dieppe were essentially retreats and disasters. So with that unfortunate sort of black cloud over the Allies' future, there was need of some sort of a positive piece of news. And when the story of Barnes-Wallis, who designs this bouncing bomb, emerges, certain forces within the RAF and within government and within the Air Ministry felt this might be just the operation to provide that uplift, that boost. And Wallis designs a bomb that will bounce over the nets that are protecting the great Ruhr River dams, and the means to deliver it in a Lancaster, only they choose to do it in about 20 of them, with about 20 of them. And it's going to require, one, getting the ear of Winston Churchill to give it an okay, two, the Lancaster crews who will be skilled enough to deliver it, and all of the technology, the upkeep bomb, the lights that will allow them to get the correct altitude, all of the modifications to make this whole piece of technology work took time. But they didn't have time. So why it's important is, yes, it could be a boost, a morale boost if they could succeed. But in addition to that, you've got crews from all across the Commonwealth, 133 men, a quarter of them Canadians, who are essentially recruited for the 19 Lancs that went. And they are the creme de la creme. These are the men who have performed the greatest service in Bomber Command for one or two full tours of duty, and they are chosen. Add to which the fact that half of the 133 men were trained as pilots, navigators, flight engineers, bomb aimers, wireless radio operators, gunners in Canada. That's never mentioned when their qualifications come up. It's how many tours have you got, how many sorties. It's all operational. They forget about the training. So that's significant for Canadians. And then finally, I think the other reason that it's so significant is it was a horribly risky, dangerous, and disastrous raid for human loss. Of the 133 men who went, 56 were either killed, captured, wounded, whatever. That's almost half of those who went. And half of the Canadians, 30 of them. 14 didn't come back. So it's significant in terms of the recognition of the human cost too. So it's important on all those levels, on all those counts. The Dam Buster raid became, for the British, like a cause célèbre, like the 4th of July or the 1st of July for the Americans and us. It was their statement of survival.
Place to me.
Now, Karl will explain a little bit about the bouncing bomb there that we had built specially just for the Dams Raid celebration.
Do you know where the blueprints came for the Dam Buster bomb? From a German archive, because one of the Dam Buster airplanes crashed on the Dutch coast, and the bomb rolled off of the Lancaster into the trees, and the Germans found a skipping bomb laying there. So they took all the measurements, and after the war, when we wanted to go build a replica skipping bomb, the German documents were more useful than the British documents to build the bomb.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got the talent here at the museum, and this is a 100% scale bouncing bomb. And you see, this is the correct support arms. These are the correct support arms for the Dam Buster bomb. And so the bomb sits here like this, and then when it's bomb gone, it goes like this. The arms go like this.
Oh, I see.
They
Oh,
spin out, flip
And
out.
this is backspinning to give better skipping qualities, right? And so we're the only museum in the world that has converted a regular Lancaster to a dam buster.
So they went that way. Now they're hinged up there somewhere, or they support them.
Yes.
This is hooked up to the rear spar of
Yeah.
the wing,
So that doesn't move, does it?
and that is hooked up to the front spar of the wing.
Yes.
But
So-
this, yeah, both these can lift out, and then the bomb drops. Don't push
I
too
see.
hard.
That's awesome. Good.
Rolling off and through the door.
Yeah. And you see we have a V-belt hooked up
Oh,
to turn
yeah.
it backwards.
Oh, yeah.
So it's turning like that. And
And when it drops off, it's...
for our purposes here, we only turned it at 200. We had it up to 250 and it started shaking the aircraft. So we thought, no, we don't need to go any higher than that.
And of course it's empty, it's not full of anything.
No.
No.
This still weighs about 900 pounds. The real one, the real bouncing bomb, weighed 9,600 pounds.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that heavy?
Yeah.
What set them off? Just the impact onto the...
No, when it skipped across the water, came up to the dam itself, and then crawled down the face of the dam to about 30 feet depth, and a hydrostatic fuse set it off.
Oh, I see.
That was set to go off at 30 feet of water pressure, and then kaboom, and it literally shook the dam apart.
Yeah.
And the compression wave from the water opened up the dam, and then out it came. But it
I
took,
thought it hit the top of the dam, blew it off.
no,
No, it went down.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
no, by the time
Ah.
it got to the dam, it was barely moving. And then it still was turning enough that it crawled down the face of the dam to 30 feet, and then
Yeah,
boom.
Yeah.
And it was like an earthquake, you know, it shook
Yeah.
it apart.
Yeah.
The first dam, the Mona, that they breached, it took 5 Lancasters to breach it. And the second one
5
in,
bombs.
yeah, because they only carried 1 each.
Yeah.
An AJM that we've got ours done up as, M for mother, was the second Lanc in, flown, piloted by Hopgood. Hoppy was his nickname. And Hopgood's aircraft was hit on the starboard wing in the fuel tank. The number 1 engine was out. Number 2 was on fire. And he knew that they were going to crash. And they dropped their bomb late, and it went over the dam and hit the power building down below the dam and blew it up. And Hoppy's aircraft, he could barely get it up to 500 feet above the ground on the other side of the dam. And he ordered everybody out, and only 2 guys got out. The bomb aimer up front, and you know where the escape hatch is up here, right there.
Yeah.
Well, Hoppy,
Oh, yeah.
John Fraser, the bomb aimer, he looked down, and he was only 400 to 500 feet off the ground. And he knew he didn't have time to jump and then pull.
Chute.
So he spilled a chute and poured it out of here.
Yeah.
And the wind caught it
Yeah.
and pulled him out. And then he swung about twice and landed on the ground and survived.
We're in the Petwood Hotel, which is in Woodhall Spa, Lincolnshire, during the war known as Bomber County. Well, the Petwood is famous for lots of reasons, but for most of our visitors today, it's renowned as the wartime home of the Dambuster Squadron. So 617 Dambuster Squadron moved here in January of 1944. So after they'd done their dams raids, their squadron was relocated to RAF Woodhall Spa, and that's when they moved into the Petwood Hotel, which had been requisitioned by the RAF to fly their Tirpitz and other low-level flying raids. So the Dambusters were a specialist low-flying squadron formed in 1943. And they flew some low-level raids over the dams in Germany, with a specific target of flooding industrial regions of Germany and hampering the German war effort. They used a bouncing bomb, which was invented by Barnes-Wallis. And in fact, in the grounds of the Petwood Hotel, we still have one of the early prototypes of the bouncing bomb tucked away in the gardens, which is a nice little feature for our visitors to discover.
Oh, that was great. And now, Scott, I wanted to just mention, we have excerpts again from NA 337, this historic recovery from the late 1990s that Halifax 57 Rescue, the core team did. But we had great help from the Royal Canadian Air Force. They sent over a Hercules filled with RCAF mechanics. And as we started to lift the bomber out of the lake in Norway, the first section was the tail section, 25 feet of tail that came up first, that we lifted up. They had to deassemble, treat it, crate it, and get it ready for shipment to Canada. And we wanted to show you this. The first section of NA 337 coming up. These are our formative years. Folks, my lips can't go fast enough to cover 30 years in just a few minutes. But here's the beginnings of our adventure, the first section of the Halifax, the tail, and all of the people that helped us make this dream come true.
I feel like an expectant father. This is his first child. And I'm nervous as hell, and I just want everything to go right.
How do things look, weather and everything, how things look right now?
The thing that I was most worried about, reference the weather conditions, was the wind. And it's beautifully calm. I'm not concerned with the rain. If Doug says this is good, then I'm happy.
Okay, so we've just started by the looks of things. This is it. How do you guys feel now?
Well, the hook is in the water. It's all they have to do is tow it down to the aircraft, and that will take a few hours. Then they will start putting it in position onto the aircraft and then start the lift. So you're right, it is in operation. It's all systems go.
Well, it's very hard to express my emotion. I think it's an absolutely marvelous thing that's going to happen. I feel so confident that it's going to be there, and history is going to be pulled out of the water in the next 48 hours. Don't you think so, Dag? What do you think of the weather and so on?
Yeah, I checked with the Weather Institute, and it says that there will be some rain, but not too windy. And we hope that the wind will stay down, and during the night we know the answer, if we can pull tomorrow morning.
With a storm front rising over the top of the Norwegian hills, rain had quietly begun to fall. Gunnar, Jeff, and Dag worked throughout the night, with the weather conditions changing by the minute. Suddenly, with the ROV in the water, the unexpected happened. The ROV had been hit, perhaps by lightning, perhaps a technical flaw. Whatever it was, the transformer was blown, and it would take up to 36 hours to repair. The next day, as repairs were still taking place, the group was down at Hias at the water filtration plant. The Canadian Armed Forces had arrived and had begun the delicate disassembly of the tail section. These highly trained individuals were chosen for their various skills in aviation design. Thomas Waitman, on Karl's invitation, had returned from England for the salvage operation. It was a big moment for him when he saw the rear tail turret he had once called his own.
So she comes up right through there.
Yeah.
Right through there. Bring it up onto the beach this way. And so that's when, Carl. That's your department.
Well, I hope
Tomorrow, the next day?
within the next 48 hours. And we want it to be soon, because everyone, we'd like to have everybody here. And now that I've got some of you guys here, this is the lake. There's an airplane out there. It's called a Halifax. We're all tied together by that airplane. Is there any comments? You guys want to fill me in? Thomas, how do you feel?
Whereabouts is it lying now?
It's down the beach this way, and you've got to go down about 8 miles.
8 miles?
8 miles down and about 1,000 yards out. About 1,000 meters out from the shoreline. Before, just a few years ago, it was untouchable. Now, pretty soon, Tom,
You're gonna
we're going to be able to touch it.
Good. How deep is it?
240 meters.
It's fantastic that you can get
It is, yeah.
Yeah, our salvage team is, I am really impressed. This Dacon and their boss, Doug Amarud, they're going to do it.
He's done it before.
He's done it before, yeah. And you know, you gunners, you've got your end up, and they're going to bring my cockpit up in 48 hours. And I'm going to get in her, and away we go, guys.
And with each day, more delays. This time it was the guiding wire for the lifting device. Patricia, Thor's wife, and the chief cook for the salvage crew returned from the site.
Or they are doing it now.
No. They grape now with the
Got it flying?
Yeah.
So it's not finished yet.
No.
Not finished gripping.
No, because they are trying to take the right position,
Yeah.
not to make a mistake.
As long as they can get to work on this tonight, then I think we can get almost caught up to schedule. But the problem is because of this power surge in the ROV, we're behind schedule.
Yeah. But if all goes well, they could have the hook in place by tomorrow morning.
Yeah. And if this weather conditions hold up with this calm,
Up
then,
tomorrow night.
Yeah, hopefully. Well,
let's go back to the hotel and let them do their work.
I hate this waiting, but there's not much we can do.
Patience is a virtue. Find it if you can. Never found in women and seldom found in men.
Thanks, Dad. I needed that.
So there you have it. We're getting near the end of our show now. You can see this beautiful content we have. If you're a history buff, if you believe in our bomber boys, you want to be with this show. And we all know that we have to support this if you want it to continue. And not only do we need funding, I can't go all over the world to get Halifax stuff for Scott and his team to do magic unless we have your financial backing. So please, folks, look at this, the credits, the places to go to support us. And if you like the Halifax 57 Rescue Show, us guys in the trenches, us regular guys saving your history, please subscribe to our Halifax 57 Rescue Show. Like us, share it, pass it on. We're here for the long run. We believe in our bomber boys. And so these are all the elements of excitement in our story. And Scott, what do we got going next week?
Well, next week, everybody has to tune in. We've got some updates coming up. We'll give everybody a status update. And for you technical sorts out there, we'll be describing in insane detail the amount of work that we're doing on forming these parts and how we're trying to remain faithful to the originals to the best of our ability. And it'll be very informative. Please tune in.
Great, great. Thanks, buddy. And folks, we're here for the long run. So we leave no Halifax behind. See you next week.